it's gonna do what he is. Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Okay, so we are recording this session, so just so you're aware.
Let's be serious.
Hello world, I'm with Salma. So I think the Fed's about to. Powell is gonna speak. I think when he does, I think the biggest thing people are looking forward to is the rate cut, which I think like the number of rate cuts he's gonna have this year, right? In a sense, okay, is the Fed gonna cut rate twice or not? So they did not cut the rates. So this is just what just happened. So they just made the announcement. There are no rate cuts. Um, so they leave it unchanged, as you can see on the screen. I don't know if you can still see my screen.
Yeah, still visible.
Yeah. So this is not this is I think this is expected. The Fed removes reference to inflation, making progress towards the goal. Oh, yeah. What I think this means, though, honestly, huyu jamaa akiongeaga waga anavuruga sana dunia. I think you and me both know. But I think what's
Yeah.
interesting about this year is the fact that um, last year we had four rate cuts, and when rate cuts happen, that means the dollar index usually goes up because people can borrow more against the dollar with less interest rates. So the Fed fund is the amount of money the U.S. economy kind of like prints out or gives out to boost the economy. So just to either bail people or to do something that's going to help the economy overall, right? So what I think this decision, as you can see right now, like on gold, if I go and check out what's happening, gold against the like against the dollar, it's a good indicator to see how the economy is performing. So this is probably not good for the market, like in general. Um, but I think overall things are gonna stabilize by like I think after Powell speaks, I think things are gonna go a bit crazy. All right, so as you can see, the Dow is down, S&P
In
500
terms
is
of bearish or bullish.
this is usually the Fed is usually hawkish, so he usually wants to. He's usually bad for the market because if the dollar goes up, there's no interest cuts. People usually are fearful to kind of invest, so they hold back a bit. So as you can see, a lot of stocks and bonds are down right now. These are U.S. stocks. They're very pretty much on the red, like down almost a 1% on the Nasdaq, almost like a percent. The Russell is still the same. It's like very little, 0.08, very, very small. The Dow is like this is 0.3, 0.1, 0.3% of a change in the whole day. This is really not bad in the grander scheme of things. It's not bad at all. For crypto, Bitcoin is up 0.3%, which is still very little. Ethereum is almost a percent down. Solana almost a percent down. XRP is bleeding, man, this whole week. I don't know why XRP is bleeding, but I think it's because
Uh,
I think people are realizing the hype is moving because a lot of meme coins are taking attention away from the global market in general. Another thing to pay attention to, unaona huyu maza, this is the UK, this is the Fed chair for the European Central Bank. This is for the European, this is their Powell, this lady.
oh,
So
okay.
as when they wanna do a rate cut. This guy has changed a lot of things. Trump, he's really fucked up a lot of things. I don't know if it's in a good way or a bad way, but yeah. So they go for inflation usually. Um, for the US market is to keep inflation at 2%, right? Unemployment stabilize, right? So this means the economy is doing well, right? Like if you have no rate cuts, if you have no inflation, which is staying at 2%, it means things are stable. The last NFP was okay. You see the rate cut benchmark here on the red. I usually just the Fed holds benchmark rate in 4.2% to 4.5 target range. This is for unemployment. So damn, this is really, really bad. State says FOMC vote was unanimous. Unanimous means everybody voted yes, right? So a lot of people agreed.
Yeah, I think so.
So that means there's not gonna be rate cuts this year. Do you know what a rate you know what rate cuts are, right?
No, not really.
Okay. Rate cut is so it's the amount, like if I want to borrow something, so at what interest rate am I going to repay that at, right? So uchumi wa Marekani, the American economy, let's say today we go buy government bonds or we buy the US Treasury bond. Um, so a good example is just let's just use Google. This is good the layman way.
Oh, rate card. I thought you said rate card.
Rates. So a rate cut is a reduction in the federal fund target rate by Federal Reserve. With the rate is the interest rate at which banks lend reserve balances to other banks on an overnight basis. When the
Yeah,
Federal
makes
Reserve
sense.
cuts this rate, it aims to stimulate the economic activity, making borrowing cheaper for banks and consequently for consumers and businesses. Right? So that means if I can borrow at a cheaper rate, so kama if I borrow from you, if I lend you money and the interest rate is only at 4.2%, it's easy for me to repay that rather than when it's high. So
Mm-hmm.
when you cut down the rate of borrowing, now more people invest, more people come in, right? So right
Yeah,
now, what's happening? These guys are not gonna cut rates, So they're saying the economy is doing great. There's no need to cut rates. Um, and remember, but this is the first announcement. So they have this. They have one in January, this meeting, and they have another one in March, and then I think another one in June. Every other month, right?
Oh, it's on a monthly basis.
It's on an every other month basis. So another one will be on March. Okay, so if we come here on Market Watch, and this is what I was doing on the last session. Um, so Powell goals for Fed today, try not to make a splash. So this guy can really change, but he's not speaking yet. He's gonna speak in half an hour. So I think when he speaks, the direction of the market is gonna get decided. And are people
Yeah, I
dumping or
think I want to
buying?
see that lion. I want to see that lion.
Yeah, that's gonna be crazy. So, oh damn, I thought they already gave the decision. He hasn't updated here. Let's see. Okay, so nothing changed. I don't see any news here. They usually put like they usually say like what happens, but I think there's no news yet. But if I go to Bloomberg here, says it's holding. If I look at gold is definitely dropping. Okay, so what this usually happens, it can have two effects in it. So if I go on the larger, let's go on like I like to look at gold because gold is a very good indicator of like the performance of like the economy overall because gold is a shield against inflation, right?
Okay.
So that means like even if it's a good asset to hold because it doesn't change in value. So the gold index against the US dollar, it's a very good way to kind of measure what's the market doing, and then usually it gives me a sentiment if I want to buy crypto or not, or I want to like see what other things are happening. But overall, like if you look here on the right, everything is on the red at the moment, right? So that means, but then what's on the right, what's performing well. This is the dollar index. So let's open that up and see and compare this to the gold index. And by the way, if you have any question, just stop me. I feel like I'm used to just talking to myself, so I could just be speaking bullshit. Come on, Douglas. Yeah.
You could.
Kama naongea mtavyoeleweki niambie. So overall, if we go on if we just do a quick chart here, one thing that I like to do, which is very very important to do, is you go, you know like how this thing works, right? Trading view.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I usually go to the bigger time frames, and then I look
Mm-hmm.
where the most of the resistance is, because this is an
Okay.
indicator. So this is the daily. We're on the daily chart, right? So
Yeah.
what happens here if I just draw a line? One thing you see over here where I'm hovering
Mm-hmm.
this side, right? That's too much. You see this little side here?
Yeah.
We're here at the moment. Let me draw a line across. Just watch where I draw this red line. You see this red line?
Yeah.
I drew there purposely because of this area where I'm hovering. You see, this were daily. This is a place where we respected a lot of it, and then another place, we had some. This is at the top, right? This is the dollar index. So this was a resistance. I say resistance in a sense, comma, it was the highest point this market went to, the price went
Mm.
to, right? And then
Mm.
this bottom here, this is the support, because this is where a lot of the time price stayed here for a long time. So it's a
Yeah,
support for going up. This is the
there was the
resistance.
manipulation, the
What'd you say? And then you see bottom here, upper chini pia, we have another support.
Mhm.
Why I call them support? Just because this is where the price was hovered for a while before it went up. It hovered here again before it went up, and then this is where it when it reached the highest, it came back down. So there's a resistance here because a lot of people don't want to buy it up here because it's too overvalued, so it comes down, right? But when it was under here, ilivyokuwa ilivyokuwa hapa chini, when it was hovering over here, it went up. So what I'm expecting to see here, like let's say
Mhm.
if I go on a 4 hours, let's go on a 4 hour, you see those lines kind of support the same thing. You see, it gives you like a bit of a behavior, right? Let's go
Yeah.
on a 15. We're starting to see something. So if I was gonna make a decision to do something here, you see the resistance where ilipo na hapo si tulipo.
Mhm.
There's a
Yeah. Yeah.
support here, and there's resistance up here. Price always wants to go where there's resistance, because after a support, you're pushed to the resistance. So this seems like a good day to buy the US index, because I think the US index is trying to get to 0.9. Right now it's at 0.8. It's trying to get where it was the highest, which was 109, right? So let me just zoom in here. Mona.
Yeah.
It's not about where the red line is. This is where the price is. So it's going to try to hit this, like with all with all the indication. So we need to, in order for us to kind of know if it's gonna do that. Remember, we have a huge journey going up here. But in order for us to go up here, what will happen is if we cross this. Let me change the color. And by the way, this might not happen as well. So it's not like,
Yes, just probabilities.
yeah. The most likely scenario, the most
Mm.
unlikely scenario to happen usually happen. So no nakafolo kama hapo. If
Yeah.
Powell speaks really well and shares like, yo, the US economy is doing well, the tariffs are not gonna be an issue. If we cross this green, we are definitely looking at going up here. We might hover a bit, but the journey will be something like I wouldn't be surprised if it was something like this, and then we did this, and then maybe it went like this. By the way, I'm just drawing this shit, and then eventually it topped up here. Like I can definitely see something like this happen, but this all can be a turn with Trump's tariff thing. And then why this? You see, if you see the price here, no, no, I don't know if you can see. You see, up we are at 10108. We're hovering going up. Look at gold. Gold is doing the opposite or something similar. You see, the resistance of gold. We drew these lines of gold for gold last time when we were doing on the higher time frames. You see this red. This is what we said was going to happen. It almost kind of followed what we predicted, but we tapped over here. We didn't pull back all the way to 26. We pulled only all the way to 89, and then we went up and then came back kidogo hapa. We see I said we will pull back here, but he pulled back here to 70 to 27.39, right? All the lines we drew were crossed to come back huku juu. So the red, you see this red line is like the lines I drew what the gold was gonna, the movement of gold for last week coming to this week. This
Yeah,
was
we're
Sunday. This was
okay.
we did this on Sunday, and this is what happened. I think I have a video already on YouTube. But then after that, we had this pullback. This pullback happened this from Monday. Leo.
Yeah.
Let's go with daily charts. How did this happen? How long was this? Whew, man. Yeah, so this 2 days, this was the last 2 days. This was Monday, Tuesday. Yeah. So you see, when tulipochora sisi to this was almost 28. It ended up on this was Friday. So everything kind of like that we did happened except for the pullback here. It was just a small pullback. It was not a huge pullback, you know. But we had an uptrend and then we came down. So now what I think gold is at an all-time high. Like tunaona kafuno kama hapa 2790. This is the all-time high for the year.
Yeah.
So if the economy is doing well, I would not be surprised if gold shuts down all the way, comes down. I think the guy is peaking now. No, not yet. Pressing
No.
less Fed easing this year after from statement. So okay, what is gonna happen? You see on the daily, I think gold, so not gold hapa ilipo. Yani, the next part, the next trip for gold is gonna come down. I think gold is gonna come down all the way to 2,700. Like by tonight, I think we need to go.
Right now we are 27. At what are we in now?
F7,700.
Okay. So it
Yeah.
so it will
Why?
go to what?
Yeah, because there's not gonna be, if there are not gonna be rate cuts and there's not gonna be like any change, like if the economy, the American economy is doing well, that means the dollar index is gonna go up, right? If the dollar index goes up and gold is sold against the dollar, that means the price of gold is gonna decrease. And if you can see you see here we're 108.14246. So this is kind of moving up. And then gold was at damn, I need to. Gold was at 48 when we started. Remember? I don't know if you were paying attention, but at the beginning of the video it was 27, 46, 48. Now it's 46. I think it's gonna go down to 30, 20. Yeah, itashuka for sure. I definitely don't see it. Anyway, I feel like I'll be speaking a lot. Is it making sense or is it just me speaking gibberish?
It does.
Awesome, awesome. The idea here is like just to see, okay, the sentiment of the market. How can we stay in sync with it? I think the synchronicity comes into this part. Okay, I think the Fed rate cut decision. They said it was focused to be 4.5. The previous one was
Yeah.
4.5. As you can see here, you see today the 29th. The
Yeah,
decision is to keep it at
4.5.
4.5%. The focus was 4.5. So interest rates are going to stay at 4.5%. This is after they cut 50 points in September last year. They cut about 55 points in December. You know, they cut in September and then November. And now they say like, okay, no, we're going to leave it the same. We're not going to cut anymore. So I think we're going to only have one rate cut this year, either in March because of Trump, if he does a lot of crazy tariffs. If he doesn't, we'll see it later next year, like maybe in September again. Okay. So what does this do to the market? Let's go back to the US market. Still the same, still bleeding. Things are gonna stay like this for a bit. I think the reason being is just because, damn, you, was I just talking to myself? uh, hey, ulikuwa umetoka umerudi tena?
Yeah, I think I touched my AirPod and then it disconnected the call immediately. That's why.
Awesome. Okay, I think we can rejoin on a Zoom to just watch this. I mean on a Google Meet because it's just me and you. But if you want to watch it live, if you have nothing to do, but just to kind of recap, the biggest thing to understand or to take away is if we stay in sync with this, like economic findings, like kwa mfano kama sasa hivi tunajua the rate cut is at 4.5%, and we know these guys are not trying to cut rate for the whole year, so we have this in our mind. The next thing we're looking forward is the indicator of the job number, which will come out the first Friday of every month. So next Friday, it's gonna be a very, very interesting Friday. So you can see here, next Friday, ISM jobs opening. Yeah. So next Friday is gonna be a very, very interesting end of month because sasa unaona tutapata like a real indicator of what is this guy's gonna make, what is the decisions gonna be coming next month. So you see, next Friday, which is gonna be the 7th, 8:30, we'll have the NFP, the hourly wage, US hourly wage, unemployment. This is unemployment and
report.
Okay, so the previous one was 256 for January. We're gonna see now what it's gonna be now. Watu wameajiriwa wangapi mwaka huu? Watu wangapi wamekuwa? So if this number changes, then the market will shift again. So whatever this guy does today, whatever happens in the changes the market, just know by Friday it will most likely be wiped out or come back to levels. So I expect whatever Powell speaks is gonna shake the market, and it might make crypto move a bit. I think Bitcoin might move tonight.
So if it's going to shake the market, is it going to go with the uptrend or the downtrend?
I think most likely downtrend because everybody's expecting it, but the downtrend to set up a buy. So you see right now, crypto is down, like you can see. The afternoon was at 100,000, 0.2.
Yeah.
But remember, this is a very small movement. Like overall, in the grander scheme of things, crypto is doing really, really well. Like,
yeah, agreed.
It's 100K. Like, how much more do you need? Like, If you look at gold is at 2,700. Like, how much more do you want it to be? The US index is almost at 109. That's really, really good. It's not bad. You see? So all these things are like good indicators that the economy is not doing bad. So the problem is, I think the bigger thing we should worry about, more people are going to have money. And when a lot of people have money, the consumers and buyers I mean producers, sana, manufacturers and producers are gonna
Mm-hmm.
bring the price up because they know there's a lot of capital. So then that will put a strain kwa watu ambao tuna capital ndogo. Umeona? So
Yeah.
and then if the borrowing stays the same at 4.5% interest rate, so maybe if I borrow from the government or from a bank, I can have an interest of 7 to 10% and still not be hurt. Umeona?
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, again, so knowing these type of small things, they help us understand, okay, what is the overall sentiment in the economy, like tunaenda wapi. So right now the economy is strong, is on an uptrend, things are on a, like right now we're still on the bull, but with the possibility of this bull getting to a point where it's going to peak. So having this information or knowing, it helps us to know, like, okay, am I buying or selling if I'm trading, or if I'm investing, when's the right time to put my money? Like, for example, if I was going to buy Bitcoin, I would wait for like Powell to speak, see the sentiment of what he's saying, watch the market
Then
react. Usually you bring it, push it down, and then you enter your positions, and then you wait and have small targets that you can incrementally. So enter maybe 2, 3 positions, and then, one, and then X them out as you go up.
yeah.
So that's kind of like, that's what I'm thinking of doing. I wanted to buy some gold. I want to trade some gold. Um, but I think I'm gonna wait for this guy to speak and then
Okay.
enter my positions then. So yeah, I think this meeting is about to end in like a minute. But yeah, I think after he speaks, we're gonna see the clear direction. Like literally, I think if not the hour after. But you see, looking at gold, I think this candlestick is definitely gonna come back down. So let's redraw this.
Mm-hmm.
This is the high. Um, okay, I don't think it's gonna get past the lowest it can go in hapa, where the green is at. And then after that, we're gonna see another bounce back. But if it crosses this green, we're back to 2600. We're gonna come all the way down back to 26. I doubt. Do you think it's gonna come all the way down here?
I wish I knew.
Nah, that'll be a crazy drop. If it comes all the way down here, then the
Yeah, crazy.
unemployment number will be so shit. If the unemployment number becomes so shit, then it will come up again. Again, we can't like we can't predict the market. But if I was gonna buy, my buy positions will be somewhere here.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, like I'll buy somewhere here on the last resistance. Sorry, my spelling is shit. And then my ultimate buying position will be again here 2661. But knowing gold, it never gives you that much of opportunity.
It doesn't have that flexibility. Mm.
It does. It has like, because it has a lot of volatility, but then it never really gets here. So yeah, I think I'm gonna end there because we are literally in a minute, and then we can rejoin the call again on this same link, and then watch the live.
Perfect.
I think it'll be better to watch the live on Google Meet. I'm gonna just send you a Google Meet, and then we can watch from
Sure.
there.
No problem. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, my one viewer for
You're
the
so
culture.
yeah, for the culture.